With me this morning, proud to welcome them. It's their second time on the air. It's Dave and Nancy Lurty. They're a tag team of realtors, and they are with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Gallo Realty. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have it memorized. I have to have it written down.
You're doing very well.
Yeah, I have to have it written down. We're going to talk about today selling your home in the springtime, because that traditionally is the time when people put their homes up for sale. Why is that?
Well, it's just when the winter is over and people are starting to look at coming to the beach, and it's a good time to put your home on the market.
But you know, I have my own little strategy. I sold my house in November. It was right around Thanksgiving time, and I did not think that it was going to sell. And the realtor that I was working with did an open house on like that Sunday after Thanksgiving. I thought, that's like a ridiculous idea. Somebody came to see the house and put an offer in the next day.
You must have had a great house.
Well, as I look at your list of things, my house was in good condition for sure, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But my strategy is, as a buyer, I often think I'm going to buy a house in the dead of winter because, not a lot of people are coming out, right, to look at homes. You know, I think about last winter, that's the last thing people wanted to do is to go out on a snowy day and look at a house.
Well, sometimes that's true. In locations where there's a lot of big businesses and a lot of relocations, a lot of people change their jobs in December and January and they move them around. So where there's a lot of company relocations, November, December, January, February are very strong months as those company moves are happening. At the beach, it's more people want to come down in the summer. They start thinking about it in the spring, and that's why it's strong here in the spring, in the summer, and the fall. Mm-hmm. Where in reload locations, it's strong in the winter. In the winter, yeah.
Well, so no matter when you're putting your house up for sale, you need to do certain things to get it ready.
Well, yeah, we think one of the most important things is first impressions, because lots of times people just drive by your home. They think they're going to show it, and then they look at it and they say, I don't want to see it. So first impressions are very important.
I agree.
So you should break that power washer out. In the spring, you got to get rid of all the green stuff growing on the north side of your house on the siding. And a lot of people overlook the sidewalk, the white sidewalk. It suddenly looks black. Get the power washer out and get all that black off the sidewalk so you make a good first impression.
Mm-hmm. I think that's great.
Yeah,
great suggestions.
Yeah, mulch the lawns or mulch the flower beds if you can, and then keep the grass cut and edged. You don't know when a buyer is going to be driving by your house.
Yeah.
Yep.
That tip about cleaning the siding, I tell you what, I drive by, and look at development, and I see that on the side of somebody's house. I think I would never look at that house, that they don't care enough about the house to clean that off. And even if you don't own a power washer, you can go rent one, right?
Yes, that's right. And people think what they can see is an indication of what they can't see. So if they think that the outside's not maintained well, then maybe things inside the house aren't maintained well. And Nancy was going to talk about inside.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah, some of the first impressions when a buyer is getting ready to go into your house, a lot of times it's right on the front step. If the door trim is not painted correctly, if the storm door is all covered with food or fingerprints or something like that, you need to make it look like nobody lives there. Meaning you go in, make sure that the lights are on, the drapes are open, the windows are clean. Remove all the personal photos.
I wanted to ask you about that. I had a big question mark about that. Why is that important? Because I think that I did have some personal photos. What you're saying to remove those? Why?
What you want is for the buyer coming in to be able to envision themselves living in the house.
And if your photos are out,
your photos are out and all of your knickknacks are out and all around, they won't be able to see the house with themselves living in it. Mm-hmm. Instead, they'll have all of your things on it. Buyers, you want them to be able to see the house as well, not just all of the knickknacks that are around. So you need to put those away, box them up. It's okay to put them in the garage. It's okay to put them in a storage room. It's okay to put them in the shed. Mm-hmm. Also on the kitchen counter, clean off the countertops and the refrigerator. Have you been in a house before where the refrigerator has so many magnets on it? You can't even see that it's the refrigerator?
Yes.
So
maybe people do that to cover up all the fingerprints on the stainless steel refrigerator.
Right. Well, and in addition to covering up, make sure the house smells clean, but don't put a smelly deodorizer. You know the type I'm talking
Yes,
about
I do.
in there? Because that is a real turnoff when you walk into the house that people think you're covering something up.
What about, I know that people sometimes like bake cookies or burn a candle that smells like a cookie. I don't know if I'm into that, but I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
If it's a mild thing, some of the things that we have done over the past, because we've moved a number of times, is having some cinnamon that you sort of warm up in the oven and then turn the oven off. And it smells like the whole house is baking an apple pie. So sometimes that works for people that walk into there. Mostly just make it look clean, make it look like no one lives there. All the model homes that are out there today, that's what
it
your
should look like.
House should look like.
That's what you should aspire to. Dave?
That's right. Yep. That's exactly right. And so the cinnamon smell, the baking smell is okay as long as it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
Because then they think you're covering up cigarette smoke or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And it gets tricky sometimes. You need to, when you leave your house in the morning, there may be a showing during the day. All the beds have to be made.
Oh,
Everything has to
yeah.
be picked up. If there are kids, it's something called show ready all the time when you leave the house.
What about the carpet?
The carpet needs to be clean before you put the house on the market, because otherwise buyers coming in see the dirty carpet and it does not leave a good impression.
Well, what
on
I
their
say to
house.
myself, if I saw dirty carpet, I would say I'm knocking off a couple $1,000s off the price because I'm going to rip that carpet up, right?
Well, exactly.
Well, it's that too, and people also think if you don't take care of your carpet, what about if there was a plumbing leak, or what happens if there's something broken that you can't see? You probably didn't maintain that either.
So are buyers a lot fussier these days, do you think?
Yes, it's still a buyer's market here. It hasn't yet turned to a seller's market. So buyers are pretty picky. Once we finally flip to a seller's market, they don't get quite so picky.
Yeah. When there's not enough inventory, then they'll take what they can get.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, guys, what are you going to be talking about next week? Very helpful tips.
Well, I think next week is going to be Andrew, so I think he'll be talking about numbers, statistics, things like that.
Okay. When you're going to be alternating with Andrew.
Yes,
so
that's right.
When you come back in 2 weeks, what will you be talking about?
Probably buying your house. Oh, no, home inspection.
Home inspection.
Next
Yeah,
time we talk
yeah,
about home
that's
inspection.
What is home inspection, why it's important to have a home inspection as a buyer and possibly also as a seller.
Real quick, I just want to backpedal to something that you said about cigarette smoke in the house. So what do you do in that case? I mean, I'm not a smoker, and honestly, if I walked into it and I have a heightened sense, I can pick that smell up. And probably if I did smell it, or the other smell that would make me turned off would be the smell of animals.
Pet
yeah.
smells.
So talk a little bit about that.
It is, smoke smells we see are very easy to detect, when you walk into a house. And sometimes they're very difficult to get rid of. We've had some people that have completely painted the inside of their condo, and it still had a residue of smoke smell in
So
there.
should only smokers be buying other smokers' houses?
No, you can probably remediate it. You open all the windows, air it out good, clean the carpet. You might have to paint the walls, depending on how strong the smoke smell was. But airing it out for a long time does a great deal
What
to help.
about the pet smells?
The pet smell is tougher. If it's just the pet smell, and it's not because the pets weren't able to control themselves in the house. If it's just the pet smell, you can probably do the same thing. Clean the carpets, air it out a lot, maybe paint the walls. Not so much paint the walls for pet smells.
And some of the local pet stores have products I believe can go right onto your carpet. But if it's so bad, you may need to remove the carpet and then put the
chemical.
liquid things, the chemical, onto the plywood of the floor.
And do you tell your sellers? I mean, are you forthright and saying to them, look, you need to do X, Y, Z?
Absolutely. It's either do that or you're going to get a lower price.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people may not show your house. We're in a small community here, and it's a limited area. If reputation gets around that your house has the pet smell or your house has some kind of terrible smoke smell, people are just not going to show it because there are a number of things on the market.
I think sometimes the people that have these houses with the smells, they've lived with it so long that they cannot smell it.
They don't notice it. Yep, that's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
So you guys are truth tellers then, right?
We have to be, yes.
We do, and we encourage them to go out away from the house and be away from it for a while, and then come in, and they should be able to pick up the scent.
All right. How can people get a hold of you if they want to get the truth from truth about their house?
Well, we have our website, which is www.lurtyteam.com. That's LURTYTEAM.com. Or you can always call us. I'm answering my phone regularly at 302-745-0637 or David's at 302-745-0048.
All right. Sounds good. Look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Thank you
Sounds
so
great.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by.